Today, we're going to dive into one of the most talked about, most controversial moments in modern cricket. And trust me, it's about so much more than just one decision. It's a moment that shows us a massive, fundamental shift in how this game is now being played. So, picture this. You're watching a huge T20 match. The stakes are high. One of the team's best players, a real star, is out there batting. He's scoring runs, looking good, and then, out of absolutely nowhere, his own captain tells him to get off the field. Just walk off. I mean, he's not out, he's not hurt, he's just ordered to leave. It sounds completely insane, right? But it actually happened. And the reason why it happened? Well, it tells you everything you need to know about the future of cricket. All right, so let's get right into it and break down exactly what went down in this really baffling moment. Now, the player right in the middle of this whole storm was Mohammad Rizwan. We're talking about one of Pakistan's most reliable, most experienced batters. So this isn't some rookie getting swapped out. This is a senior player, a star, getting pulled from the game by his own team right in the middle of his innings. As you can imagine, that decision sent absolute shockwaves through the stadium and really the entire cricket world. So why on earth would a team do this to their own player? Well, the answer boils down to one single metric that is completely changing the game of T20 cricket: the strike rate. So the official term for what happened here is retired out. It's a really rare, almost unheard of tactical play. You know, it's not like retired hurt, which happens all the time with injuries. No, this is a deliberate, strategic choice. You're basically sacrificing a player because you think someone else can score faster. It's a pretty ruthless move, and it all comes back to that one idea: strike rate. And the whole idea behind strike rate is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. It's not just about how many runs you score anymore. It's about how fast you score them. You know, think of it like a car. You could have two cars that both travel 100 miles, but the one you want in a drag race is the one that gets there faster, right? Well, T20's a drag race. And that right there was Rizwan's problem. By all the old standards, he was doing fine. He was putting runs on the board. But in the, brutal math of modern T20, he was actually a liability. The team needed someone to just explode in those final overs, and Rizwan's steady, consistent pace just wasn't going to cut it. It's wild. He wasn't failing. The game itself had just changed the very definition of success. And this whole situation really brings us to a huge conflict that's at the heart of T20 strategy today. It's this classic showdown between two types of players: the steady anchor versus the explosive attacker. So on one side, you have the anchor, and Mohammad Rizwan is the perfect example. He brings stability, consistency. He builds an innings, usually scoring at a strike rate around 125. But then on the other side, you have the attacker, a player like Usman Khan. His job is just pure aggression. Go out there and score as fast as humanly possible, aiming for a strike rate of like 180 plus from the very first ball. One guy offers you safety, the other offers you explosive, game-winning potential. And that leads to the crucial question: what do you value more? Do you go with the reliability of the anchor, the guy who will get you a decent score? Or do you take a gamble on the high-risk, high-reward attacker, who could literally win you the game in 10 balls or, get out on the very first one? This is the exact dilemma that T20 teams are wrestling with in pretty much every single match now. Now, a decision this bold, this controversial, it was never going to just end on the field. It immediately kicked off this huge debate that completely divided fans, commentators, and even ex-players. The first reaction from a lot of fans was just pure outrage. For them, this was a total slap in the face. It was a public humiliation of a senior, respected player. They felt like things like loyalty and respect for experience were just being tossed out the window. But then you had the other side of the argument. A whole bunch of analysts and fans saw it completely differently. For them, this wasn't about disrespect at all. It was about evolution. It was a cold, calculated, but a smart, tactical move that was all about winning. There was just no room for emotion in that decision. So what did the pros think? Well, a lot of former cricketers saw this as a real turning point. They called it a wake-up call for any player who was still trying to play T20 the old-fashioned way. The message couldn't have been clearer. Adapt to this new, faster game or get left behind. It doesn't matter who you are. So let's just zoom out for a second. This whole incident with Rizwan, it isn't just some one-off controversy. It's actually the perfect symbol for a whole new way of thinking that's taking over T20 cricket, what you might call the era of impact.
These are basically the new, unwritten rules of the game. A quick-fire 30 runs in 10 balls is now way more valuable than a slow, steady 50. Stability is being traded for raw speed. And because of that, teams are desperately looking for these fearless, aggressive players. And yeah, even the biggest names, the most senior players, are now unnoticed.
So when you look at it, the story of Mohammad Rizwan being told to walk off the field isn't really about him at all. It's a statement. It's a verdict on the direction this entire sport is heading. It's a story about a game that's getting faster, more tactical, and way more ruthless than we've ever seen before. And that really leaves us with this one final, powerful takeaway. All that old currency, your reputation, your experience, what you did last year, it's all being devalued. Because in the high-speed, high-stakes world of modern T20 cricket, there's only one thing that truly matters: your impact on the game, right here, right now.